Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, good morning, good morning, sunshine. How are you doing? I have to tilt this down because yesterday, the videos I shot about Jenelle Evans and whatnot, they were filmed standing up. And then I'm rushing to get here because you know what I did today? I was a psycho. I accidentally did 3 back-to-back fitness classes. My intention was to do beginners, floor Pilates, followed by intermediate. But I didn't know that in between the two, there was this like other workout. It was like kind of like mid too, you know, you don't bust a sweat doing this stuff. So it was okay, but I ran out of time, right? So once again, good morning to y'all. Stephanie, nice to see you. Allie, nice to see you. Ronnie, Hamlet's Princess, Kahara. Toda's Hippie, Sandy, Kristen, Boss Lady's back. Boss Lady, how's work going? We were missing you yesterday. We were talking all about you and how we missed you. Leanie, nice to see you as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, she's cheating. She's cheating, y'all. And I love that you are sneaking in some morning report because the vibe is just not the same without you, Miss Boss Lady. So it's nice to see you. Shout out to my fellow Canadian Alex. Oh, Niagara Falls is such a beautiful place. And shout out to you as well, Alexandria, because, you know, every time I see you, I think of Elle Fanning. Doesn't she look like Elle Fanning, y'all? Like, she is a dead ringer for her. And good morning to you as well, Shem Jem. Y'all, we've got Theo. Bring him out, bring him out. Where's Theo? Where's Tadisha? And I feel like there's someone else that we're missing. Star. Guys, we've got a lot to discuss today, okay? So at the top of today's morning report, we're going to kind of like finish up the Grammys stories, right? So the Grammy Awards took place this past Sunday. Of course, we recapped it yesterday, aka Monday. Melena's here too. Yes, girl. Yes, El Michelle is here. Oh, the gang's all here. But I feel like we're still missing some people. Star is in the building. There we go. There we go. Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out. Woo! So we've got so much more catching up to do. Okay, you guys, like there's more information that broke out since yesterday. And I really, really want to get you guys' take on all of it, of course. So stay tuned for that. The first thing I want to say, and East Awesome, where you at, East Awesome? Who talked to me about Yemi Alade yesterday? In the live chat, when we were talking about our like best dress and everything, what did I say? I said I loved Janelle Monáe's outfit. I loved Taylor Swift's outfit. I loved Cardi B's outfit. And then someone kept saying, Grace, Yemi Alade was there and she had a really, really gorgeous outfit. She looked like an African queen. And so after the stream, I went and I looked her up and sure enough, she did. You know, this dress reminds me of like, sometimes you see these beautiful Nigerian brides wearing this sort of a thing. Hang on a minute. Remember when Portia was cosplaying as a Nigerian bride? Wasn't she wearing something similar to this? Hang on, let me pull up a photo. I love the beaded jewelry. I love the fit of this dress and everything. She looked absolutely fantastic. So thank you to whoever brought her up. I haven't heard her name in a long time, y'all. Okay, so it wasn't Portia wearing this beading in this particular photo that I have, but I'm sure she wore something like this in a different wedding photo. Because remember, she had like 10 different weddings, right? But you see her husband, Simon, wearing those beads. And Simon, like Yemi, is also Nigerian. So shout out to them for that. Not shout out to Simon and Portia, but shout out to Yemi Alade. And shout out to my co-reporter who put me on to this absolutely beautiful dress that she was wearing. LB is also here, but nice to see you. Venetia, Sandy R, Linnell, Theo, we were looking for you. Elle, you know what it is? I'm over energized. I just did 2.5 hours of workouts back to back to back to back. And so now I'm feeling like, whoa, 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 let's go. So that was a really, really, really beautiful outfit. But like I said, there's some more tea that we have to discuss from the Grammys. First of all, How come no one mentioned this in the live chat yesterday? Word on the street is that Cynthia Erivo is engaged. Who's she engaged to? She's supposedly engaged to, what's the name of that lady that she's been dating for like 5 years? Oh God, I'm forgetting. She was on that show, Master of None, on Netflix. Someone please help me out. I thought I had her name memorized already because I know her, but for some reason her name is currently escaping me. But and I used to watch Master of None all the time. I keep telling y'all this is one of my favorite Netflix shows of all time, Master of None. My other favorite Netflix show of all time, one of them, Friends from College. The way they canceled it at the most exciting moment, I will never forgive them. And it stars Keegan-Michael Key. It's only about 2 or 3 seasons, and the seasons are super short. So if ever you're looking for something to watch, go ahead and watch that. El Michelle, thank you so much. The name of Cynthia Erivo's longtime girlfriend is Lena Waithe. And so apparently this ring that you see on Cynthia's ring finger is an engagement ring from Lena Waithe. Do y'all know the messy history of this relationship? I gotta say, this is a relationship that I will never root for personally. It's not that I root for it to fail. It's just I will never root for treacherous relationships like this, right? Lena Waithe had been with a previous girlfriend for a really, really long time. They had finally gotten married. And just as they get married, Cynthia comes into the picture and they start creeping around. And lo and behold, Lena divorces her new wife within months of marriage. So that's why I will never root for this relationship. Okay, so good luck to you, Cynthia. How you get them is how you lose them. So if you truly are engaged to this woman, good luck to you, good luck to her, because neither of you have good karma coming into your relationship. You will never build a happy relationship off of somebody else's tears. And that goes for Hamlet's girl, Ariana Grande, as well. Good luck to you too, Ariana Grande, with your SpongeBob man. It'll, I don't think it'll end well either. It's just not good karma at all. Exactly, Malen. Both cheaters. Good luck. God bless. And LB, wasn't it thebomb.com? I actually think I'm going to go ahead and like re-binge that because it's been about 8 years since I watched that show and it was so damn good. So shout out to my friends from college, fans around the world. Now, another loose end that we've got to tie up from the Grammys night was none other than the Babyface situation, right? We spoke a little bit about how the Associated Press had these 2 journalists. Are they even journalists or are they just like influencers? I don't know. But they had these 2 girlies on the red carpet. Houston Rose, nice to see you. Good morning, girl. They had these 2 girlies on the red carpet interviewing people. They have Babyface, who is a legend, an icon, the moment, right? And he's been around since like the 80s, 90s. He discovered Toni Braxton. He had LaFace Records with L.A. Reid's. Like he is up there, right? So the lady, she asked him this question. First of all, it took her like an hour to spit out the damn question, right? And then Babyface opens his mouth, takes a breath to respond. And before you know it, Chappell Roan starts walking towards them and they could potentially miss this interview. And the second journalist girl or supposed journalist gets all bouncy and stuff, disrespectful in Babyface's face and just screams, Chappell Roan to get her over. And they essentially kick Babyface out. Babyface is like, oh, that's what all right. Peace, sort of a deal, right? The internet was entirely outraged, and Khloe Kardashian also decided to tip her name in the hat on people who are speaking out against this moment. So she posted the video with a tweet that reads, and I quote, "This is so disrespectful how Babyface was treated in this interview. Babyface has had such a significant impact on the music industry in so many ways. It's maddening to see a legend not get the respect and attention they deserve. He is a pioneer and deserves so much better than this. With decades of groundbreaking work as a songwriter, producer, and performer, he's shaped the sound of multiple generations. I love you, Babyface, and I am a forever fan and thankful for all that you've blessed us with. By the way, what a class act you are. P.S. Big or small, old or new, you don't treat people like this, at least not in my eyes. There's a way to handle this, and this was wrong in my opinion." Can I just say that I get the vibe that Khloe is trying to win back some black points? Because she was getting dragged for the way that she came for the California mayor over the handling of the California fires and the water issues, as if, the Kardashian family isn't, directly responsible for some of the water issues in California. And I think that this is not helping her image in that respect either, because the thing is, the Kardashians have always proven that they love Black men, but the way they speak about and treat Black women is a different thing. So to me, her coming out here and caping for Babyface doesn't change my Black opinion, but I don't know. I saw some of my people in the chat. Let me know, does this change you guys' opinion on all of this? Because I still get the vibe that like she just doesn't really care for Black women like that. And I think that all of this, like, this whole essay, you don't treat people this way. Chloe, you have treated people worse in the public eye. Do you remember when you thought that Chloe Grace Moretz was coming after one of your, Jenner sisters or whatever, and you decide, or was she coming after Kim? She said something very innocuous about how like she's tired of women being reduced to body parts, right? And then Chloe takes a paparazzi picture that she assumed was of this teenage girl bent over that was taken without her consent, right? In a bikini. And she goes, oh, like this? Is this like inappropriate? As if the girl had asked to take a picture like that and to post it online, and it could be equated with what the Kardashian Jenners do, right? That's not how you treat people. That's not how you act. What about when your trifling trash can Thompson baby daddy was out here thotting and bopping on Valentine's Day, and instead of, admitting that y'all were never even together, because why the hell would your man be at a random house full of women on Valentine's Day when you're at home pregnant and you're supposedly in love and a family? You decide to throw, 19-year-old Jordan Woods under the bus. You call her, you scream on the phone about her. You call her a fat ass, all sorts of things. Is that how you treat people, Khloe Kardashian? It's very fake. I can't with her. I think that she is really trying to get back in our good graces, and it's not working. Ali says, not talentless Kardashian making comments to stay relevant, right? It's so contrived. Creme Brulee, nice to see you. The Kardashians are good friends with Babyface. Oh, okay, I see it. Khloe Kardashian wrote this, right? It's a lot of words. I didn't know that she knew that many words. Points from who? Black women have been over that family. Mic drop indeed. I don't care about Khloe. She's a Trump supporter. She can go to hell. Oh, Jolisa, you're spicy, girl. This is a very normal way people are treated at red carpets. However, not Babyface, and not if you're the AP. Celebs will wait their turn for AP, right? The Associated Press is a very, very respected publication, right? Lini, I cannot stand the Kardashians. Khloe better not forget how she treated Jordan. Exactly, girl. You and I are on the same wavelength. I just said the exact same thing, y'all. And Michelle, stranger things have happened. So there you go. The Grammy Awards this year is kind of like, it just keeps on giving. Like, I feel like we're still due for a lot more content coming out of all of this. And by the way, this is why I love doing live shows with you guys. I had literally no idea that Babyface was out here hanging with these people. I thought that I had like a good grasp of like their social circle. I know that they like Kelly Rowland, Lala Anthony. I know they hang out with those twins, whatever their names are. I know that the food god got kicked out. Like, they had Larsa, they had all these other people, but I had no idea that Babyface was ever in there. Is it Babyface himself, or is it like his wife is friends with them and so he comes around, sort of a deal? Because I'm really curious about this. You know what else I'm really curious about? The Wendy Williams situation. Look at this photo of her. She is trying to get the press's attention. Is she even wearing pants in this picture, by the way? She wants everybody to know that she is being held against her will in this high-rise assisted living facility ever since she was forcibly placed under a conservatorship. So this is an interview. This is one of the last interviews that she was doing. And she was on the phone screaming, crying, everything, begging for the opportunity to go to Miami to celebrate her father's 94th birthday with him. And ever since this interview and the interview that she did with the Breakfast Club, y'all remember the Breakfast Club interview, right? That went mega viral. Well, she has been put on ice. The court is telling her to be quiet moving forward, and that she no longer has any permission to speak to the media about the state of her conservatorship. I am still having such a difficult time wrapping my mind around how any of this is legal or how any of this is even possible. She made her own money. And if she's mentally ill, if she's got dementia, if she's got Alzheimer's, if she got blah, 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 it is up to her and her family to manage that. She can ask for outside help if she wants it, but she does not want it. So how is it possible that a random bank can say, hey, I don't think you can take care of yourself anymore. We're going to hire this random lady to take care of your money, and we're going to cut your whole family out of everything. We're going to isolate you from your family. I truly do not understand. And so she tries to speak out, and they say, oh, actually, we don't even want you talking to anybody about what it is that we're doing to you. We are now silencing you. And this, by the way, this comes after their GoFundMe campaign, their change.org petitions, everything, you guys, everything. I will tell you, though, that first of all, this news came out on Friday. The judge made a couple of rulings. So first of all, the judge said that, yes, Wendy does have permission to go to Miami for a couple of days to celebrate her father's birthday. Why? Like, the girl, she's in New York. It's cold. It's gloomy. Why can't she even just spend the summer in Miami? Because you know what I found out, like through the TikTok? I found out that the rich people, this is what I know about the rich people in New York, right? They like to spend spring and fall in New York. They like to spend summer in the Hamptons, and they like to spend winter in Miami. So why is it that she only has permission to spend a couple of days in Miami? Again, that's where her family is. Everyone moved over there. So why can't she be with them? Isn't that better for her health, her mental health, her physical health, her growth, everything? I don't get it. I can't, y'all. This story makes me so sad. I know that, thank y'all, by the way, the Hack Thwains. Thank you. I know that Wendy is a controversial figure, but I think that at the end of the day, what is happening to her is a travesty, and everybody needs to be outraged, because one day it's happening to Wendy, the next day it's happening to you. This is not okay. This should not happen to anybody. And the fact that they're even saying that you cannot exercise listen, I'm not American. Is this your First Amendment right? Or is it your second? Which one's the guns? Which one's the speech? She has one of these amendment rights to speak out, to speak, free speech, right? And they are silencing her. I find that to be absolutely insane. Insane. So TMZ made this report just the other day. They said, and I quote, in a controversial development, the judge has also issued a strict ruling prohibiting Wendy from any further contact with the media. The decision, which reportedly aims to protect her well-being and privacy. Well, what do you mean you're protecting her well-being and privacy? If she wants to speak to the media and she's desperately trying to, risking all sorts of punishment that she thinks you guys will levy against her for this, then what do you mean you're trying to respect her privacy and her well-being? Her well-being and her well-being relies on her being able to speak out about the injustices that she's facing. Her well-being relies on her being able to have her freedom, right? To do what she wants to do, to go shopping, to pop lock and drop it at the club, to go see her family, to do whatever she wants to do. This is weird. It is so damn weird. Ramster, nice to see you. It's so nice to see everybody filing in. Hey, Ramster, East Awesome, XX, Karma. Wow, nice. Sandy, nice to see everybody, you guys. If you're enjoying the morning report, please don't hesitate to make sure to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. Guys, I'm sick. What are we going to do now? What the hell do we do now, you guys? They did the GoFundMe, right? They raised a lot of money. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but they raised a good amount of money to hire Wendy her own independent legal team. And it seems like these people are trying to shut it all down, right? Houston says the bank should not have a say at all. We should all be concerned. Exactly. Milan says in Denmark, even if you have dementia, you still decide for yourself. The state cannot enforce rules on you. America is a wild place. I agree. Someone else said this in my comment section when we first talked about the Wendy situation on the morning report. What about Bruce Willis? Bruce Willis has dementia and he's being taken care of by his like wife and his kids. Like, why isn't that same right afforded to Wendy? It's weird. And then, Kanye West, we're going to talk about him a little bit later on, but let's talk about Kanye West pulling stunts like this, right? Getting public BJs on the river. First of all, do you see that child over there on the left? Then there were children around when he was getting a BJ from this chick in Italy. No one's trying to commit him. No one's trying to take control over his life. Why is this happening to Wendy? Why did this happen to Britney? But why do men like this get to walk around free? Star had something to say in the comments section. Star, I'm going back up to try and find your comment. She said, has anybody watched I Care a Lot on Netflix? Very insightful. No, but it sounds familiar. Is that not the Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron movie, by the way? Because, okay, or show or whatever, because now you're making me want to see what's happening here. East Austin says, Wendy's son was excessively spending money, 6 figures on luxury items. The bank reported it. The court had Wendy accessed, and she did not show sufficient competence to manage her affairs. Yeah, that's the story I heard. Although she denied it on The Breakfast Club, and she blamed this whole thing. She subtly blamed it all on her ex-husband, claiming that he wanted to have her committed or something like that in order to, get control of her finances. Because don't forget, Big Kev has been fighting, and he's still fighting tooth and nail to get access to Wendy's money. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, and y'all, please let me know if you guys felt the same. But when the stuff about like Wendy and like rehabs and like, competency and stuff started happening, I thought that she was doing this to like as an act to outsmart Kevin Hunter and not have to pay him alimony. I thought like it was just a thing that she was riding out until like, the time expired and she would be off the hook for him because he deserves nothing, right? But obviously now I see and I realize that no, something serious truly is going on here. Right? Erica says, where's Wendy's son? I see her niece advocating for her, but I haven't seen her son. No shade against him, but I'm curious. Me too. I've seen her brother. Her brother has a YouTube channel, y'all, and he's been talking about this all this time, but we do not see her son. What happened? The last time we had seen her son publicly was when Wendy was over there. Where was she? In Florida or something like that, celebrating his graduation, y'all. But I haven't seen any like real on the record statements. The brother said she's in good, like she's good, like she's mentally stable, or like she's there cognitively and she just wants to be reunited with her family, right? And so Wendy, of course, has spoken out about her guardianship. She has described what they're doing to her as, quote, emotional abuse. And she just feels like it's completely unnecessary for her to be stuck in pretty much solitary confinement because remember, she's got a one-way phone. They're really hard on her when it comes to having visitors. They can even like restrict her from having any visitors. How does any of this help anyone with dementia? Is this like jail? Like, is that a thing now? Like over there for you guys? Like if you have dementia, you are in some sort of jail, like a luxury prison. Like why is any of this happening? Now, there have been allegations of mismanagement, you guys, when it comes to the guardianship. Wendy, she had recently fired her court-appointed lawyer, Linda Redlisky, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago when it happened. She accused this lawyer of neglecting to initiate the proceedings, right? Wendy wanted to have a review of this guardianship in order to get out of it, and the lawyer just never actually got around to it. And we already know that the lady who is in charge of the guardianship, she is somebody who had made a donation to the judge who oversaw the guardianship and placed her in charge of Wendy. So there's a lot of what appears to be corruption going on behind the scenes. It seems like they want access to her money or something like that. I don't know. It's a mess. Hey, Jamie, nice to see you. Shum says, isn't there someone that cares about Wendy that can care for her? I hate to say it, but I think this would all be different if Wendy had a daughter instead of a son. Oh, Lord, I low-key think you're right, Shem, and I didn't even think about that, and it makes me so sad. It feels like her niece is almost essentially like a daughter to her. And I'm pretty sure the niece is like done with her university education and that like, she's got a career and everything like that. So she should be able to qualify. There's even someone who's an attorney in her family who wanted to be the attorney for this situation or to be an attorney for Wendy, right? And they denied her any kind of like, role in any of this. Like the whole thing is a mess. And my brain is still just struggling to understand how this is possible. You know what? I need to write this down to myself. Note to self. I have to... Guys, please remind me later. I have to write it down in paper. I don't like to write notes on my computer. I have to reach out to either Dmitry Shaknovich of DCHAC Law or Stephanie of Allegedly Stephanie. They are my lawyer friends here on YouTube to understand what the hell is happening because my brain just cannot comprehend this. And y'all, please listen to Sandy. If you're enjoying this stream, please do make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content and you want to see more of my videos. And by the way, who mentioned her son? Was it East Awesome? Because that was also brought up in the TMZ article, even though Wendy denied it or something like that. They did also mention that her son was accused of misusing over $300,000 and how that might have, caused all of this to go down this way. XX says, can you imagine if that was two men on the red carpet? They'd say grooming, right? Let me put this photo back up because it is just such a damn disgrace. Oh my God. And look, nobody's trying to have him committed. There's no conservatorship coming for him or anything like that. It's all so damn sexist. Now, y'all, do you want to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac finale really quickly before we head into our break? Because I kind of do. I hadn't watched it on Sunday, right? So I wasn't able to talk about it with you yesterday. But now that I'm caught up on RHOP, I want to know how y'all felt about the season overall. A lot of people seem to have hated the season of RHOP, but I personally really enjoyed it, especially after the really dark and heavy season that we had last season. I needed a star like Stacey to come in here, pick things up and make them more like fun, bubbly, lighthearted and whatnot, right? I needed a Kiarna to come in and just be like a boss babe in this kind of like relationship where you're like, girl, you could do so much better. But like, despite that, she's still like trying her best to be nice and positive with all the girls and to get to know everybody, right? Like, for me, overall, this season of RHOP, I would give a solid 8 to 8.5. I loved it. And I know I'm in the minority of that, but I truly did enjoy this. I think that this is one of those seasons where it's like everybody regroups and they listen to the feedback, right? Because sometimes when these shows get super toxic for super long and like the head honchos feel untouchable, it just continues on for like that forever until everybody gets canned. But this time they only canned Robin, right? And it just changed the game in a good way. And I think that this is the springboard that they needed to move forward in a more positive direction. Theo says this season of Potomac was just okay. I liked Stacey, but they need more dynamic characters and to tweak the formula. I can agree with that about needing more dynamic characters. Karma says, I read somewhere that Kanye married Bianca to avoid Kim putting him in a conservatorship. Oh, is that how you get out of conservatorship? Through marriage? You know what? I'm going to star your comment, Karma, to ask one of my lawyer friends when we do that stream. East Awesome says, RHOP and Married to Medicine had awesome episodes last night. Stacey, Karen, and Giselle carried the season and the storylines. Everyone else can be demoted. Kahara, meanwhile, says that the season focused too much on Mia. I didn't like that. And that's the thing. Can you imagine if they did all that focusing on Mia and we didn't have like a Stacey to balance that out? Like, we truly needed her. I think a lot of people are underestimating the role that Stacey played in making this season watchable. And at first I was like, oh, she's just gonna, always like, kind of just be there floating around everywhere. But at the end of the episode where, spoiler alert, she goes rogue and she exposes some of the things that Karen had been saying behind Wendy's back, which, by the way, another question for you guys. Are you shocked by what it is that Karen had said about Wendy? Do you agree with what it is that Karen said about Wendy? Because that was what was needed as well, to kind of just have that fuse. And honestly, as a newbie, to have the closing episode, like big thing moment, I iconic behavior, I fear. I did hear a rumor, and I wanted to reach out to Kempire about this. I'm going to reach out to him later, but it is being said that during one of his Kempire After Dark live shows in the DMV for one of his shows, Stacey actually popped up as a guest, and she allegedly claimed that TJ was a hired boyfriend, a rent-a boyfriend for the season, and he did not show up to the reunion because she was 2 payments behind on paying him for his services. What do y'all think about that? That made me laugh. And if it's true that she said that herself, then you know what, Stacey, I love that you could keep it real too, and not try to insult our intelligence. Elle says, I loved Stacey this year, even though she lied about her relationship. Kay's situation with Greg was sad to watch, but I couldn't with Mia and Jacqueline. This season was a 5 for me. Ouch, not just a 5. I will say Jacqueline was such a disappointment to me because I was riding for her to be added to the cast and everything. I loved her being against Mia, but her being a lapdog to Mia, she was, she was really weird, really weird, really. Just as the network probably thought Mia could be the new anchor. I agreed, and that's another thing because, Mia, I think when she's kind of a secondary or a tertiary character, she's great. But when they try to make her the main, she does too much, there was a lot of putting on and stuff like that. And it wasn't okay. And, there was a lot of insults to the bipolar community as well. And the way that she was painting Gordon and whatnot, I think she has a lot to kind of backpedal on moving forward. But to be honest, just for me, I don't want to necessarily see her get fired, right? Because of having a bad season. To me, I think everybody has the right to a bad season or two. I want to know what you guys think about that. But I personally would like to see her continue to come back, but just not be the spotlight next time because, she does a really good job. She's the only one who was really calling out Karen this season. The other girls were backing down the entire time, And my favorite thing about Mia is that she owns who she is and she will spill her own tea so that you have nothing to hold over her head. And because she's somebody that nobody has anything to hold over her head, she is able to really go after people. The reason why Giselle, Ashley, etc., were not able to go after Karen was because they were afraid of Karen and what she had over them. Mia didn't have that fear. And that's why we saw her, get down and dirty with it. And we needed that, right? And Theo, it absolutely does go down at the Kempire After Dark shows. I believe his next show is going to be in New York. So if you're in New York, make sure to head over there to watch him live. It's, it's always such a great time. Or if you'd like to watch it online, he does, and this is a special episode, by the way, of the Kempire After Dark show. He does have an online link for that one that you can buy tickets for as well. Boss Lady says, I'm not disappointed, but I'm not shocked, but disappointed. Karen and Wendy are my fave, right? And I know that she was never really a huge fan of Wendy, but I thought she grew to like Wendy. And just watching how hard Wendy rode for her this season, it was just I was hurt. I was devastated for Wendy to see that that's the way that Karen spoke about her behind her back, especially after the way she brought Karen with her to the White House. She brought the girl, facing all these damn charges. She could have turned her back, been like, you know what, Karen, ordinarily I would invite you, but with all of your charges and stuff, I'm going with someone who's a little bit more, clean to bring. And she still did it. And that just makes me so sad for her. Can't you were at the Kempire After Dark show. I hope you had a great time. That's awesome. See, he spilled tea on Stacey. There you go. Boop, 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 boop. Make sure, you guys, if you have a chance to go ahead and watch him live. And yes, you guys, that's what I heard. He was payments behind. She was in arrears. Sorry, she was in arrears, you guys. Oh, Lord have mercy. Kempire said she lied at the DC show, but Wendy's husband at the reunion called TJ and he told him that she was 2 payments behind. Okay. And that's why he wasn't at the reunion. TJ to me is another example of a guy that just doesn't really actually like women. The way he speaks to Stacey is so weird to me. Even at the finale episode, right? He was like, oh, I'm just taking it all in. You got new hair. We're doing this event. Are you done? He's got this weird, rude attitude with her. And it's just he looks down on her or thinks she's stupid or something. And I don't like it. Now we are about to head over into commercial break. It's only a couple seconds, y'all. Don't worry. However, while our sponsors are putting you onto some great products. I want to know if you think that Kiarna will be asked back for another season of the show. Listen, her debut was a little, it fell a little bit flat, but I think that the girls like her and that she's got the base or the basis of moving forward and becoming a better housewife. Like it looks like her relationship with Greg is going to be done, right? Like in the final title cards, they said that she moved out of the house like shortly after they moved in and finished building. And she was expecting an engagement by, April or something like that. Did they break up? Are they still I feel like there's a lot there to discover with her. And, she's someone who bites back. When you come for her, she'll bite back. And so I do want to see her come back. Again, I think everybody's entitled to at least 1 or 2 bad seasons. I wouldn't even classify this as a bad season for Kiarna. I would just say it was a lackluster season, but like the connections are being made there. And I think she could do great. And I want to see more of her med spa. I love that she's got this med spa. Apparently it's really successful because y'all, again, I said this when I was talking on Campire's channel, but with Layla. But the other girls, when they do like, oh, what are these famous people wearing on TV? It's literally Fashion Nova or just things you or I buy, just basic online brands. But with Kiarna, like she's wearing designer head to toe and she's so subtle about it. She doesn't need the logos, but she's wearing always $500, $600, $1,000 shirts or pants or whatever. She's got money and I want to see more of her. All right. Now let me get a drink of my little water and I'll see you on the flip. Let me know if you think she'll be back next season, guys, in the live chat. Let's go. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. So there you go, you guys. It's great to see you guys' comments and your feedback about whether or not Kiarna will be asked back. And I do have to say, I'm with you, Kahara. I hope she comes back. However, like Elle says, she will not be a great housewife until she leaves Greg. Greg knows that he is not on her level, and that's why he's trying to rain on her parade, ruin her job so that she does not have all of this, to fall back on and everything. And I hope she realizes that. Can I ask you one final question before we move on? Do you think that she's going to make a breakup announcement or an engagement announcement at the reunion? Because they recently filmed it. So I really think that at this point, if they were going to get engaged, they would have. So I'm hoping she's going to make a breakup announcement because she could do so much better than that man. And I do agree with you as well, Hawkeye, that Greg looks like a younger version of Ray. By the way, how adorable is Ray? He's always just like the light of the room. Like he was making all these funny little jokes at the table and everything. And I just can't help but love him. He is one of my favorite husbands as well. Kiarna, if you're watching, East Awesome's got some shopping tips for you, girl. He says you're spending way too much money on your clothes. But listen, that girl's got money. Money is the point. Greg was at the reunion. Oh, damn it. Okay, so I guess she's not leaving him yet. Damn it. Kiarna, you could do so much better, especially once that fame truly hits. Now, y'all, let's talk about Kanye West. I saw someone coming in here saying we need to pray for Kanye. I personally am going to save my prayers for more worthy people, but I do not stop anybody else from doing that. Cornelia says, please, world, help Kanye West. The woman appears like this because she thinks that she can. Please, Kanye West. That's how things go if you have money. Listen, Kanye controls that girl's wardrobe just like he controls all of his girls' wardrobe. We saw him throw out Kim's entire wardrobe, right, on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Let me go ahead and put this up. All of this is from the mind of Kanye West. He even told her he pushed her to take off this coat. She looked scared to do it, right? So let's talk about him and what he's got going on. Apparently, this Grammy red carpet stunt might have cost him a $20 million deal. according to the Mail Online. He's got investors in Japan, and they are so pissed off, saying, and I quote, "The stunt was creepy beyond belief and has been greeted with horror in Japan." The source went on to say how Japan is having a cultural awakening in regard to women's rights and the Me Too movement, which is why investors are not pleased with him. What he did is, quote, "being seen as an act of coercive control, which is utterly unacceptable. He's completely culturally misjudged Japan." So basically, they do not want to be associated with this level of extreme misogyny. You know what it is? Kanye has an extreme corn addiction, and it shows. And the fact that this girl is playing along with all of this nonsense, it makes me sad. It makes me so sad to see all these young, pretty girls do these things for these guys that are old enough to be their dads, or at least their uncles or something like that, and these guys are not even attractive. And this is me going way off, but this is someone, and thank God she's divorced now. Do you guys know this girl? She used to go by Adrian Shafiq on TikTok. I'm a diehard watcher of her. I've always loved her, but every time, when she was married to that man, anytime he'd pop on screen, I'd be like, girl, really? And it's not her fault, right? Because she came from a very troubled background, and she was only a teenager, 17 years old, when she met this 50, 60-year-old or something like that, who was rich and whatnot. And, they got married and everything, and they were married for 5 years, y'all. And she was living in a gilded cage. Ladies, do not trade your beauty and your youth for these people. They will not spoil you in a good way. They will control you like this. And if you get to spend money on anything, they have to approve it and this and that. And you'll rarely make it out better than you went in, because they will do their best to keep you from having any real access to money. Yeah, they'll buy you a fur coat. Yeah, they'll buy you a red bottom shoe or something like that. But what will you really have when all is said and done and they discard you? Not much, except just disgust when you look back at photos of how the hell you wasted your time, your looks on this. Ugh, it makes me so damn sad. And yes, Cambrule, just take a look at the child right here witnessing this foolery, right? So again, Kanye had some sort of a project that he was set to do in Japan, and now they're really, really turned off. They haven't officially pulled the plug, but they're not happy at all. The investors in Japan who are backing his concerts are extremely upset about this stunt, and they say that it's highly likely that they will pull the funding for the shows, you guys. Not good, but you know what? It's what he deserves. Now let's talk about it. So you see how there's a child there who obviously witnessed this. A lot of people, myself included, have been wondering, well, when is this woman and when is this man? When are they going to be charged or put on some sort of an offender list or an offender registry for repeatedly exposing people, unwilling participants, and at times children, to their nudity and their actual exploits, right? And so let me see, was it the LAPD? Yeah, the LAPD and the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office have responded to all of the people who have been calling in, writing in, telegramming, Morse coding to wonder when the charges are going to be filed against these people for indecent exposure at the very least, right? And they say that they have not, this was a private event, first of all, and the organizers of the event and the attendees of the event have not reached out to them with any kinds of complaint. And because of that, they are not able to move forward with criminal charges of any sort, which personally I call BS on, right? Because if you organize an event in your house and you're doing all sorts of weird things, right? And not everybody, it's an event where people are supposed to be clothed, right? And then someone turns up naked or something like that, and the police are aware of this, not by the people who are in there, but maybe they're walking by, and this is a public event. I think that they would probably arrest someone. But I think that in this case, because the person is rich and famous or whatever, they're just letting it slide, and I cannot stand that. Ramsar, yeah, they were invited because Kanye West was nominated for a Grammy award, but they just wanted to come here, shock people, and bounce. And you know what? Great question, El Michelle. And what happened to, do y'all remember for the Met Gala how he tried to sabotage one of Kim Kardashian's dresses? She was about to wear a dress and he's like, no, I don't want my wife walking around like that. Like, you are a married woman. You are pure. You know, we've got children. And now look how he's got the new alleged wife walking around, right? And I agree with you. Go, listen, I think that Bianca is biding her time and eventually she is going to be singing like a canary about this man, as she should. Get ready for surviving Kanye West. Now, y'all, we got to talk about Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton, y'all. Are any of my cousins in here? Shout out to the Commonwealth. I'm a double Commonwealth member. And this is not a bragging point. It's actually sad. I'm a double Commonwealth member through my Canadian nationality and through my Kenyan nationality as well. So before people start coming from me, asking me why I'm talking about the British, because I am a part of this Commonwealth. So let's talk about Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton had a bit of a fashion faux pas. And so now she and her team are scrambling to get ahead of it in the press and to completely flip the narrative. So last week, she was pictured at a Holocaust memorial event, and she was greeting and meeting with people who were affected by the Holocaust, right? And she wore none other than a vintage Chanel purse. And for those of you who do not know, Chanel is a very, very controversial brand because they have the founder, Coco Chanel herself, had a history of dating and collaborating with Nazis. And she also tried unsuccessfully to use the Nazis' Aryan laws to prevent Jews from owning businesses, because there were Jewish partners who had had a percentage ownership in her perfume company, and she wanted to use the Nazi system to overthrow them. Right. And so obviously Chanel has moved far past this reputation, but the fact that she went to this specific event wearing a vintage purse, which means this was around that era, right? Closer to the Nazi era than the current era. It was just a very, 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 very bad look for her. And so now her team is now saying, guys, we need to stop talking about Kate Middleton's clothes, y'all. She has, she does so much work. Let's stop talking about her clothes. Let's talk about the impact that she's making. But the gag is, what work? What impact? And in the past, she has always loved to, and for example, this is a good example of this, right? Where she recreates Princess Diana outfits. And she has been doing this for a very, very long time. At times she borrows the Queen's jewelry and stuff like that. There was a time when she would recreate Meghan Markle outfits as well. So she does like for people to talk about her fashion and this and that, right? And when she visits different countries, she makes sure to wear clothing or accessories from those countries. So she does like for people to talk about her fashion. It's just in this instance, her fashion choice was considered offensive to the occasion. And and so now they're trying to shift the narrative there. So, I feel like anybody else would have been raked over the coal for this, right? Because you know how the British press especially is, right? The way that they really they're like a dog with a bone when it comes to someone that they choose to target, right? And so if this were anybody else, this would have gotten a lot of bad press. It would have been as if, she herself were a Nazi. But they've been really trying to flip it and reverse it when it comes to this narrative. I personally, again, I think it's just a misstep. I don't think it's this huge deal, but it was definitely something worth talking about in my humble opinion. Another thing worth talking about, I will say, y'all, is the necklace. I think that necklace is absolutely beautiful. I love pearls, and I have not really seen a pearl necklace like that. The Chanel thing, I would consider it in the fashion circles, if you're into fashion or luxury or brands like that, I think the average person knows about Chanel's kind of dark Nazi history. And I think that, she herself and her advisors would know about it for sure as well. I think it's just an oversight on their end. But yeah, a little bit of a scandal there over in Buckingham Palace. Elizabeth says, no, not everyone knows this crap. I'm sure she had better things to do. Crazy says the UK royalists love to preach to us how everything exactly is strategically organized and planned ahead of time. So the so-called Kate faux pas, I don't believe they were unaware. She hasn't worked in months. Listen, she hasn't worked in like a year and a half, 2 years. Kate, the one who used a wealthy appearance to beat the Sussex, is now asking not to focus on her dresses. So she falls from her fate to defeat the valuable Meghan. I'm curious why, and that's what I wanted to say as well, you guys. They were trying to suppress photos of her holding the purse as well. So to them, this is like a huge deal that they are trying to downplay in the court of public opinion. But listen, I think this is mainly a fashion girly sort of a thing. Now, y'all, we got to talk about, and you know what, Al Michelle, they've distanced themselves from it, Chanel of today and whatnot. It's just the occasion itself was a little bit weird for her to wear it. Now, you guys, let's talk about the Jenelle Evans, August Keen of it all. And by the way, if you're hearing anything in the background, my neighbors have been renovating something in their apartment for the past couple of months. Now, I guess they're almost done with it. Now we've got August Keen. I talked about this yesterday. I did post a video about this yesterday, how he filed a restraining order against Jenelle and accused her of being a very dangerous woman. He said that he was staying silent for the kids. And now we've got the official drop of the restraining order that he filed against her. So yesterday we got a couple of documents. Let me go ahead, in case you guys didn't get to see my actual video on this yesterday, I'm going to pull up some of the documents that we got to in that video particularly. Okay. So this is a copy of it that he showed that he had it filed. This is his electronic signature and everything on it. Then this is a DM that he sent to his alleged mistress saying, hey, listen, I want you to blast this everywhere on social media. Tell it to the Reddit peeps, tell it to the Twitter peeps, tell it to the Facebook, tell it to the AOL, tell everybody that I am done with Jenelle. Then he went on Snapchat, which, by the way, do people really still use Snapchat? That is something I haven't used in at least 10 years. Anyway, and he said, and I quote, Jenelle, you're no longer going to abuse men and get away with it any longer. You're a monster and you're too cocky with your destruction. I kept quiet for the kids, but you have taken your lies too far. And so now today, he has dropped more information. So let me go ahead, pull up the thing that he had written describing the incident that prompted him to go ahead and file this restraining order. So I do think it's going to be difficult for you guys to read it. So let me go ahead, put a picture of them up while I go ahead and read this filing for you, okay? By the way, if you're enjoying my morning report, please do make sure to go ahead, give it a thumbs up. Don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel either. And let's get into it. Quote, Jenelle falsely accused me of punching her just so I can drive to her and pick her up and take her purse she had left in my car after refusing to go home. I chose to leave because she was too drunk. She stayed behind, and that's okay. But it was my birthday, so I wanted no drama, so I left. I received a text that she was taking a flight home so she can continue partying. So I came back home to Vegas. Let me go ahead in case some of you guys want to challenge yourself to catch up or decode what he's saying. She ended up in the hospital by 6 a.m. Paramedics had to pick her up because she was so drunk. Wow. She fell on her face while throwing up, and broke the toilet. She warned me if I didn't go back, she would call the cops on me. I told her I would take her purse in a few hours when I'm done doing what I was doing. She accused me of cheating and being with another woman. When I got to hotel, the police showed up and nothing was wrong with her. They checked her face and body and didn't find anything, so they left. But she laughed and said she has her purse back and thanked the cops for coming and getting her purse back. I have placed numerous 911 calls on her for domestic violence, and the calls are public because she's a celebrity. So the news outlets blasted all my 911 calls against her. She is hurt in the back, chasing me and trying to hit me. She is very violent, manipulative, and honestly, I'm afraid for my life now. She called people to break my limbs. She said, I have her on video threatening me, saying she has people that are going to hurt me. So not Jenelle Evans having goons, y'all. I'm not surprised about the other stuff that he's mentioning here, right? About her lying to police, trying to manipulate things to play victim or whatever. But just the fact that she's claiming that she's got goons and this man is like afraid for his life and everything now, that is not something that I was expecting to hear. But listen, let's continue. Just because I no longer want to be with her. I broke up with her, and that's why I think she falsely accused me with the police. I'm tired of her trying to control me and always uses violence, threats, and money against me. She's been contacting my clients and harassing them and trying to ruin my reputation. That track, she has a long history of doing things like this. She promised to ruin my career as a celebrity manager, that she is going to post things to make sure I lose all my clients. She recently hacked my cell phone and completely wiped the whole thing and pretended to be there for me. After I told her my phone was wiped, she consoled me and was pretending to care. All along, she was the one that did it. To me, that's sociopathic. I think he means sociopathic behavior. And at this point, I'm scared of her. I'm having anxiety 24/7, not knowing what she's going to do next. But I'm getting calls from clients saying she's calling them, trying to sabotage my working relationships. But they feel sorry for me and are calling her crazy. Her history with men is public, and this is her MO. This is how she's behaved in all of her relationships, and she's never been in trouble for it, so she continues to abuse people. Well, that's the thing. She's always been like this. And this is what I wonder when people start dating a Jenelle or a David Eason or an Amber Portwood. They have always been this way for well over a decade, going on 2 decades. So what are you people doing dating them? You know, I'm not trying to victim blame, but it's a genuine question. This is how these people are in all their relationships. It's a mess. It's this, it's that. There's always cops involved every time they're dating someone. Why take that chance? That's just something I cannot understand, you guys. Sandy doesn't believe him at all. El Michelle talks about Balenciaga. See, yeah, Balenciaga had their issue, and you know how quickly people forget about that too. But that's still a brand that icks me out. Cynthia says August is a clout chaser, and so is Jenelle. I feel bad for the kids. Lisa says I die every time you say quite. Honestly, this man, I hope that at the end of all of this, he picks up a couple of books, because the man, illiterate, does not even begin to cover it. Elizabeth, exactly. We all saw all of this. He was her manager. He was Janelle's manager. He witnessed this all firsthand. It's like the second guy who knocked up Amber Portwood. You were working with her on that show, and you saw, and she was nuts on that family boot camp show. Like, she was truly nuts. What part of that makes you go, I want to date her and I want her to have my baby? Like, these people need to take a look at themselves, you know, and what they've done to find themselves in these crazy positions. What are you wanting from these people? Is it fame? Is it clout? What is it that makes you go into these, situations eyes wide shut? Now, what else does he say? She warned me on video. She has people that are coming after me. She will ruin me online with her posting about me on social media. She has over 10 million followers, so she does major damage to people with one post. I have asked her numerous times to stop contacting me and harassing me, and she continues to seek revenge for no reason. Just because I cannot continue being with someone so abusive and dangerous. My family and friends have all been begging me to leave her, including her own mother, warned me to run from her or she will destroy my life. Wow, not Barbara. Her own mother told me Jenelle is let me put up the text there, because my jaw is on the floor. Her own mother told me Jenelle is a cancer. Isn't that crazy, you guys? I cannot imagine. Wow, that really truly stopped me in my tracks there. Wow. That will destroy me. I just want to move on without having to worry about my home, my cars, my life, my reputation, my career, etc. But she's promising me that she's coming after me in every way. Whew, poor August. That is sad and that is scary. Like, we knew Jenelle was bad and she did a lot of crazy things behind the scenes, but just to have a boyfriend come out on the record and really truly speak about it. You know what's crazy is that as desperate for money as David Eason is, right? The man was squatting on her boat. He didn't even have like running water or anything. He never went to the outlets to do like a tell-all interview or something. Do you think he signed an NDA? Like, why hasn't David Easton actually gone on the record like this to speak? Granted, August is not doing an interview or anything like that. He's just trying to get a restraining order against her, but he has like said a lot. I'm surprised that David isn't making some money exposing Jenelle. Do you guys think that's a plus for David or no? At the very least. Sandy said he got her to help him get a new car, and Lord only knows what else. She uses her money on them to keep them. Yup, exactly. You know what? What other reason does anyone have to be with Jenelle, right? Sad but true. East Awesome says, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've been falsely accused of something like this before. Luckily, I was in charge of a book club that gave me an airtight alibi. I believe all women, but oh, like you had a girlfriend like Jenelle, East Awesome, where you wanted to leave her. And so she accused you of all of these like crazy things instead of just like accepting that like it was over. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Jeez. And imagine if you didn't have that alibi, that could have truly, truly destroyed your life. And Brittany, yes, indeed. I'm still shook at that. I was wondering as well how August even had contact with Barbara, because Jenelle doesn't even have contact with Barbara, right? Like, wow. And yes, El Michelle, yes. A long and heavily documented history. Ronnie says Jenelle is a horrible person. I completely agree. Star says, I don't feel bad for him. He literally chose this life. Houston says David is a bum. That's why he's not doing that. He's very lazy. Too lazy to even do a damn interview to make a quick buck. My God. East Austin says, I don't watch the Teen Mom shows or the spinoffs. Listen, you're not missing out on much. Oh, and that reminds me, I have to edit my recap. I filmed my recap like over the weekend and I haven't edited it yet. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm getting there. Now, you guys, we do have two more stories. I've got an update about the It Never Ends lawsuit. And I've also got to talk to you guys about Emilia Perez and all of the drama and controversy surrounding that, shall we? So let's first get into the It Never Ends lawsuit, shall we? Okay, so there's some good news and some bad news. The judge said that Justin Baldoni and his lawyers need to tread lightly, okay? He warned both sides to stop litigating their case in the media. And he says that he might even move up the trial. It's supposed to start March of next year, but he's like, I will move this up so damn quickly if y'all do not be quiet, okay? Justin's team, this is a victory for him. They said Justin's team does have the right to, hang on, let me find the exact word here. Quote, the judge required both sides to abide by New York rules of professional conduct, which prevents lawyers from making statements in a substantial likelihood they could taint a jury. Still, the rules afford attorneys the opportunity to speak with the media to protect their clients from negative publicity. So it's one of those things where the judge says, okay, Justin, your team is doing a little bit too much. You guys still have the right to speak out publicly, but don't make it so that it's like impossible to have a fair and partial or impartial jury, okay? And they also, there's another L for Blake Lively's team as well, which is that Blake did not want for Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, to be deposing her. And the judge said, Blake, no, you do not get a court writer like you have an actor or a nudity writer, girl. You're going to be deposed by whoever decides to depose you on his team. And I think sure enough, it is going to be Brian Friedman as well. Okay, you guys. Oop. So that just a little quick thing on there. And they're also saying that Justin Baldoni lost about 3 jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars, including a big stream adaptation of Pac-Man, which was in the works ever since 2022. And that's why his team feels the need to speak out so publicly about this entire ordeal to save, what's left of his jobs. And again, I do think it's fair. All of this was public already. So to me, he would have been foolish to just be quiet this entire time. If anything, his team has done a fantastic job of repositioning him in the eyes of the world. Because initially when this news broke, I was like, Justin, Sadie, so you're a creep, you're a psycho, you're fake, like what? But the more that his team puts out there, the more I'm like, okay, like, wow, like, okay, maybe these allegations are not what they seem like, right? But again, I do have to remind you, sorry, Houston Rose, I'm sorry. By the way, Houston Rose, I've always wondered, what type of things do you grow in your garden? Because I'm trying to get inspiration for my future garden. What do you grow in there? Thank you in advance. So, where was I? Yeah. Keep in mind that we only have Justin Baldoni's side of things so far. And now that, hey, Faye, nice to see you. And now that the judge has said that like they could still, speak in public, but they have to chill, I think that it would be in Blake's best interest to get her team to start leaking some things as well, having sources relay some things, because it's not looking too good for her right now, especially with that latest round of information there, right? About that text message, the apology that she had written up, her admitting to stealing the film, all sorts of other different things. Theo says, not Blake trying to pull diva antics in court. Exactly. The judge said, absolutely not. Nope, 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 nope. And I agree with you as well, April. So stay tuned for that, you guys. Just a little update. And now let's get into our final story of today's morning report. By the way, if you've been enjoying the morning report, please do make sure to go ahead and give the stream a thumbs up so that YouTube knows you enjoy my content and you want to see more like it. If this is your first time watching the morning report, welcome. We do go live every single weekday morning. That's Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, discussing the day's hottest topics. Now let's get into Emilia Perez. Y'all know how much I hate this movie. Ooh, how I hate that movie. It was so boring. I fell asleep in the movie. I left the movie early because I was so damn bored. And the person I went with fell asleep before I even fell asleep as well. It was just not a good movie. So the amount of hype it has gotten has been just, astounding to me. It's giving fake. It's giving like, I don't know, staged like conspiracy. I don't want to be like a tinfoil hat girly or anything like that, but come on now. How does a movie that is so bad, so universally disliked, especially by the Mexican community, right, that it aims to portray or claims to portray, how is it getting all of these accolades, right? So I'm going to put this picture back up there and I want y'all to tell me what you notice. So this is a picture about Emilia Perez promoting it for the Oscar. What do you notice? You don't see Emilia Perez. You only see Zoe Saldana everywhere, y'all. Isn't that interesting, right? What and why is that? Well, we talked about this again in Friday or Thursday's morning report. It was about how the lead actress who plays Emilia Perez herself, Carla Sofia Gascon, she was exposed for years worth of tweets where she was being racist, she was being homophobic, she was being Islamophobic, she was body shaming people, she was trashing everybody. And she got an awful lot of backlash. And now she's been going on this media circuit trying to clear her name. It's not authorized by Netflix. Netflix is pissed right now because the more she talks, the worse it looks. It was so obvious that she hates Black people, y'all. She hates. She even had a lot to say about she had a lot to say about everything Black in the US she hates. Okay. And so now she's been doing this whirlwind thing, and I have to give a shout out, okay, because Variety magazine dragged her so hard, and I want to share it with you. They said, and I quote, in an Oscar season meltdown, unlike anything that's been seen before, Gascon has taken it upon herself to do a going rogue press blitz, one that is not sanctioned by Netflix, the Emilia Perez distributor. Her CNN and Espanol interview this weekend followed a lengthy Instagram self-defense, both contained within them apologies, but were also larded with baffling asides, as when Gascon said on CNN that her kindness extended to the animal kingdom. She refuses to kill spiders in her home, for example, as well as her florid conspirational claims that she's being purposely sabotaged. So this girl, she went from just talking so poorly about like Black people, Black Americans specifically, right, to now being like, I am being persecuted. People are against me. It's all a conspiracy. I feel like, Black people back in the day in the US, when they were segregated and separated based off of Jim Crow laws. That's what she said in her most recent interview. And like Netflix is like this. Are you kidding me? Who is telling you to go out here and talk? Like, these interviews are unsanctioned. It's over, you guys. I don't think that Emilia Perez is going to win anymore, you guys. Have I been saying Grammys? Yes, Oscars. It's not happening, y'all. It is not happening. I think it was so close, right? for her to get it. And it would have been a historic win for her and the trans community, but she has just flushed it down the toilet and she's not making things better with this. And don't forget that before her tweets were exposed, she had also broken campaign rules by talking poorly about another person who was also nominated for Best Actress, her competitor. They said, oh God, she decided to just double down and just trash it all, burn it all up in flames, and play victim in the midst of all of this as well, which I truly, truly do not understand. Okay. Like Houston says, make it make sense. So Variety magazine continued to say, it's hard to overstate how entirely without precedent the CNN interview in particular was, as what may be the final blow to Gascon's campaign and possibly that of the whole film, assuming she could stop herself in the future. Gascon, whose many, many tweets included a racist reference to George Floyd, declared that her current predicament, see, there it is, where she compares herself to the very people she hates, right? She says that her being called out for being racist is like Black people in the Jim Crow South. Quote, I feel and very much identify with the people who were thrown off buses for the color of their skin, with the people who do not want them to study at university, for the people who were hated simply for existing. Like how I'm hated in this moment, she said. Girl, you cannot hate a group of people, then try to benefit from their plight to victimize yourself. Stop. And no one did anything to you but dig up your own words that you were tweeting rather recently. It's not like they dug like 10, 20 years. Like these are really, really recent tweets, like 2020. Like everybody was worried about the pandemic and stuff. You were worried about what was going on in the US with Black people in the US. You were worried about, you know, what gay people were up to, what everybody but yourself was up to, just hating on everybody at a time where like life was just such, you know what I mean? Like what were you thinking, right? Variety magazine continues to say, in the midst of what was meant to be an apology, Gascon went on, I believe I've been judged. I've been convicted and sacrificed and crucified and stoned without a trial and without the option to defend myself. How do we have a trial when all of this stuff is what you said? It's on your Twitter. How do you defend yourself against your own words and your own thing, your own verified stamp? What are you talking about, right? During this barrage of self-aggrandizement, her party, that is to say her film, has begun distancing themselves from her, with fellow acting nominee Zoe Saldana declaring last week, it saddens me that we are having to face this setback right now. And this is huge for Zoe because this is the first time that she's nominated for an Oscar. Right? And her co-star has messed it all up. You know what else this lady said? She said, guys, I'm not racist. If I were racist, I wouldn't have accepted to act alongside Zoe. Come on now. Carla, hang it up, flat screen. You're done. You're done. It's game over for you. Wow. What a wasted opportunity. Now, if you're a fan of this terrible movie, all you can do is hope for the overall Best Picture win, or support Zoe Saldana, who is up for Best Supporting Actress, because this one right here, she better not win a damn thing. A mess, y'all. A mess. I'm going to get back in here and read you guys' comments on that. And I also wanted to see what Houston Rose had to say about her garden, y'all. Houston Rose, what you growing in your garden, girl? I have roses, wildflowers, tomatoes. You know, I knew you were a tomato girly. And herbs. I'm also a new journey of becoming a florist. Wow, definitely subscribe if you're interested. Yes, I absolutely will. And everybody else, if you guys are into gardening, florals, anything like that, go ahead and subscribe to Houston Rose's Gardener channel. Okay, you know what I have to say, you guys? This is where Blake Lively, take note. This is where you say, grab your friends, grab your florals. If you're promoting something like this, not a film about domestic violence. Can I give you a hint to something to yourself, which you probably already know, so maybe other people watching this, but if you have roses, you can boil them, mix them with sugar, and you can create this, because people were asking me about this. When I went to Provence up in the north the other weekend, and I got this rose syrup, right, that you can mix in cocktails or drinks with just tonic or something like that. People are like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And then I went online because I was so fascinated by this and I found it so delicious. I found a recipe. You could do it yourself. If you have either already pre-dried roses or if you have like just fresh roses, you can do this yourself. Look up a good recipe online to make rose syrup. So shout out to shout out to that. Shout out to Houston Rose Gardner. Make sure to subscribe. El Michelle says she sounds like Tom Sandoval comparing himself to George Floyd. Exactly. You know, it's always let me go compare myself to some Black folks when I get in trouble. A mess. Venetia, have a good day. So nice to see you. Crystal says the director actually said in a French interview. Yes, you know, we talked about this. Guys, when did we talk about this? Either on Monday or on Friday's channel, because I was talking about like French arrogance. Listen, I love France, and French people could be very nice, but there's a certain level of arrogance that they have that drives me up the wall. And a lot of times they have no reason to be arrogant. They're not particularly rich. They're not particularly this. They're not particularly that. Yet they have this air of arrogance sometimes where you're like, where is that coming from? Remember, y'all, we talked about this. I was like, and I'll give you an example because I guess you weren't there, Crystal, but there's this guy that I went on a couple of dates here with, and he was living like in the ghetto, which is like, you know, Stalingrad in Paris, which is like Skid Row equivalent, you know, in LA. And he was yet still so damn arrogant about like restaurants and travel and this. I'm like, how are you so damn arrogant when you live in the literal ghetto? Like you live in Skid Row. Like, what is this, you know? Anyway, whatever. Theo, you're right. Listen, have we forgiven her since? She's such a talented actress, y'all. She really, really, really is, you know? So I do hope, and I know that the Nina Simone thing was a mess, but I think that she deserves an Oscar now. Like, she is such a talented actress. Now, y'all, we've come to the end of today's morning report. As usual, I had a fantastic time chatting with you, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's episode. It's already programmed, so go to my profile, hit the live tab, and then you'll find tomorrow's morning report pre-program. Make sure to hit that bell so you'll be notified when I go live. Again, if you enjoyed today's morning report, please make sure to go ahead and give the stream a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're part of my playback posse, thanks for watching up until now. If you're listening to my podcast version of this, shout out to you as well. And I'll see y'all again tomorrow for more morning reports. Bye, guys. Have a great day, okay?